Welcome to Making the Brand, where we break down from start to finish a brand from scratch. And here with me today, we have our family, Aunt Harge. And Aunt, tell us a little bit about this brand that we're looking at today.
Yeah, so this brand is called 40 Days and Nights, and this is a brand that we actually polled my community and asked them what do they wanted us to be called and what the brand is, and they voted 40 Days and Nights, which is perfect because 40 Days and Nights has so much purpose behind it, and it speaks on different stories in the Bible, especially the ones with Noah in Genesis, and then also Jesus after he gets baptized by John and goes into the wilderness for 40 days and 40 nights.
I love it. So it's clear that we have a message here. It's clear that you already have a community and a following, and this is meant to really give a collection and give a theme to something that you believe really strongly in, and obviously other people do because it's growing. Your Instagram is growing, you got a YouTube that's growing, right? So I'm really proud of that, and I'm really honored to be a part of this process of seeing this go from computer screen to real life and in our hands. So you all are going to see that process today. So the way we started this process out was we did a little work on the computer first, and you'll see here on the screen that we were working on a mock-up, but even before the mock-up, we worked on what is the design gonna look like and what kind of message do you wanna send. So, and you wanna give us a little bit about what this message is, why we chose this kind of simplistic font, and what does obedience mean?
Yeah, so the reason why I went with this, the 40 days and 40 nights, being that my messaging, who I'm speaking towards, are people who believe in Christ, Christians, I wanted to hit on something that not only is it talked about multiple times throughout the Bible, but they're just really impactful stories. And one of them is, and I think actually all of them kind of lean more onto what you see here, which is obedience and like what that really means. And in meaning, I think with obedience, it's really following not only like God's law, but actually being in direct alignment, knowing that like, although it doesn't make sense yet, because I know who I'm following, because I know that there's a bigger plan, that if I'm being told to do this, then I'm gonna do it. And the great thing is like, it's extremes in some of these aspects, but we get to see like how it can even apply to our own life. And so through that, I wanted to hit on the 40 Days and Nights, and that's just kind of how it all came together.
I love the brand, and I also love the message in this particular shirt. So this is going to be the first of many that you produce, correct? So this is an official launch, and with the launch, we have to consider so many different things, and we'll talk about some of those things as well. Number one is your avatar. Who are you speaking to? Who is your audience? And your avatar is usually one person. So some people will say, oh, it's somebody age 20 to 35, and that's not it. Because if you're speaking to everyone, you're really speaking to no one. So we want to get really specific and hone in on who is your number one client. You'll still have number two and number three and people who will be relative to that. But if we focus on selling to number one, we will always hit the extra marks as well. So we have an image here, and can you tell me why we have like a desert theme, and then we have some other colors that go with different themes as well?
Yeah, so like the desert theme goes a lot with the wilderness, and that's right after Jesus got baptized by John the Baptist, and then he goes into the wilderness for 40 days and 40 nights to fast right before the devil tempts him 3 times. And so that's basically what this is representing, that kind of theme. So not sure what we'll call like the actual color, but we want to make every single basically every color have an actual purpose.
I love that. And so that's a part of your branding too, even just naming colors. So what we're going to get into now is a little bit of a breakdown. And now that we have the idea, we have the vision, we want to go ahead and bring it to fruition. So the way that we do that is we have to buy some blanks. We have to commit to a printing process. And then of course, we're going to make a sample. So you all get to be in the lab with us today. We're going to actually make a sample right here, right now. I'd like to take you through some of the substrates that we have the option to test out today. So we're gonna put our hands on some of them. But first I wanted to kind of give you an idea of the pricing. So if you're building a brand, and that's what we're doing here, this is making the brand, right? The idea is, do you know how much you want to sell for? So then we understand what price point we can go for your blank, or what we call your substrates. So I want to go through, since we're focused on the hoodies, the t-shirts are kind of like a complimentary item. The real focus is the hoodies, right? Okay, so I'll go through just a few here, and I'll pull them up on the big screen right here. Okay, so what we decided on was the jerseys. This is the new blend. So the new blend is a 50-50. So it's 50 polyester, 50 cotton, but it has a nice feel to it, and it's going to hold up because it is a blended fabric. Now we chose a few colors here. We're not going to go over those specifically, but the price here is really important. And the sizing that it goes up to. So this one goes up to a 4X in size, so you'll be able to accommodate more people. And also with the pricing, I'm going to go through some of the ones here, and then we'll talk about why we committed to this particular shirt as your base model shirt. Okay, so we have jerseys. It's approximately $8.36 if you have bulk pricing, if you have your bulk account with Samar. And then also we have the Gildan Heavy Blend. That is the #1 used sweatshirt in the US, I believe. It's the 18500, and that one is at $9.49, so it's a little more expensive, but the difference in quality between the jerseys and the Gildan is not that much different at all. You'll see that Gildan offers a little bit more colors here, and that sometimes may make it a little more desirable. And then the next step up from that for me is the District VIT. I really like this one. I like the softness of it. I like the flat cords that it has, and we'll show you some of those details with the hands on, but it is $11 per hoodie blank. And then we get into Bella Canvas, which is a very popular, more on trend brand. However, I think they missed the mark with this one for me. It's $16 for the hoodie, and it has a white string, and I'm just not feeling that white string or the $16 price tag. But overall, they do have a very nice quality in hand to them. It's just, I would particularly, I think they missed the mark on this string. So Bella Canvas, if you're watching this, I know I've seen you at some expos. We may want to change that out in order to have this look like the higher end brand that I know you all are. So with that said, we're going to go over to our actual shirts, touch them, feel them, and notice some of the details that are different. Is that okay?
Yeah.
All right, let's go. So I'm excited. We are here in the lab, and what we're doing is we have physical samples with us today, and we're going to get some tactical and some visual representation for the blanks that are here. And tell me the story about these colors, because you chose these colors for a reason, right?
Yep. So each color has a purpose and a reasoning, and it's all tied into like biblical context from the Bible. Like this maroon color represents, just for one of them, right? The maroon color represents the blood that Jesus shed and that covers us. Then we also have some of the other ones, like we were mentioning before, that represents the desert and the wilderness that we're all kind of in our own way. The blue represents the 40 days and 40 nights of Noah when he was on the water and stuff like that. So the flood. But yeah.
So we'll get into that storytelling hopefully on the website. And that's another thing, we're going to build a Shopify store with you all as well. So you all get to tag along for that with making the brand. So on top of these sweatshirts right now, we're going to have your print, and we're going to do that today. But I want to talk about some of the differences between the sweatshirts and some of the samples that we got in, so that if you're trying to decide for your brand, then you have some ideas of a comparison before you go out there and buy all of these. You have some understanding. You want to go over some of these right now? Yeah. So we chose to go with the Jersey's new blend, and it is a 50-50 polyester cotton blend, and it really is a nice sweatshirt. I feel like it has a good heaviness to it without being too bulky and too heavy. But we're going to be comparing this today with the Gildan 18500, and then also we're going to compare it right now to this District, which I don't have the number with me right now. I just said it when we were at the computer screen, but this is the District VIT fleece. And basically we're going to go over some details here for you all. That way you can make a decision with what details you like for your brand. And it should be pretty simple to see here. And I know there was another brand that had a white drawstring, and we weren't feeling the white drawstring, but these have the drawstrings that match the color. I know you really like this green color. I really love it too. So some of the details to look at when you're comparing the hoodies. First is you want to look at the weight of the fabric, okay? And that's a technical number that you can find online before you even order. It'll tell you that it's 8 ounce or 9 ounce. And that is just going to give you an indication of how heavy the fabric is. But another thing you want to feel for is you want to get an idea of what the inside feels like. It should be nice and soft. Also, if the outside feels a little crunchy, then maybe it's not what you want to use for your brand. But all of these feel really nice. You want to put your hands and see. Which one do you think feels the nicest?
These two kind of feel similar. This one's definitely like the softest one.
Okay, so this one is about $11 per blank. This one right now is a little under $9 per blank, and this one's almost $10 per blank. So you can definitely see that the one that costs a little bit more does have a substantially different level of quality. It even has a different type of fabric lining the hood. It has a t-shirt fabric lining the hood versus
that fleece.
Yeah, versus the actual same fleece fabric, which will be softer on your hair. If you imagine, putting something softer on your hair and it actually protecting your hair. So I think that's something that they thought of. It's a detail there. Also, we can check the inside. And here you have, this is called taping at the neckline. That taping is an additional detail that does cost more, but it adds a level of value here. And we'll see here that we don't have taping, but it's nice and hemmed and serged off of there, very clean. Now this one actually has a step up from this one. This is called an overlock stitch. So this is actually overlocked down, so you don't have the edges of the fabric where it's sewn together, kind of like rubbing up against your neck.
Oh yeah, I hate that.
So that's what this taping is for too. So it does the same thing there. And this is even stitched on the edge there to prevent that kind of rubbing. So I will say that of the inside, I think I like the jerseys better because I think you're going to have less of that rubbing and irritation. And as far as I feel like the fabric quality of both of these, and I have a background in textiles, a little master's and bachelor's degree in textiles product development. So a lot of what I studied was fabrics. I think these are very, very similar. They may even come from the same factory. Who knows? But the other detail I wanted to recognize here were the grommet holes for the hoodie. So you notice this one has silver grommets. This has no grommet at all. But you will notice it has a little bit of stitching around the hole, so it's not just going to fray. And then this one does have a grommet as well. This grommet definitely looks a little more substantial than this one. But this also has different drawstring that has your flat lace, a little bit thicker there. And these have your corded, your round corded. And I will say this cord, this one is a little softer, but this one feels more firm. Okay, you want to feel that?
Okay, yeah.
And then you can look at your ends there. These are basic little plastic capped ends. And then this one's a sewn end. So it gives a little more, finished look to it, a little higher end look to it. But again, we're talking about $8 and something, almost $10, and then $11 and up depending on which color you choose there. So going with this one allows you to have a nice quality brand, but also make it within an affordable range so that your product can speak and be bought by the masses, right? So I think that's, all of them are tearaway labels too. And you'll see we're going to actually re-tag and relabel these things. So we'll be able to take these tags right here, tear them right out, and then pop our own labels inside of there. All right, now I know the sweatshirts are the star of the show, but we also want to be able to offer some t-shirts too, because you won't be wearing hoodies year round. Well, I don't know. the kids are wearing hoodies year round. But we also have the t-shirts to complement the sweatshirts, but we wanted to make sure we chose a higher quality shirt for the t-shirts. So typically about a Gildan 5000 is one of your #1 most popular shirts. It is a heavyweight cotton shirt, but it does have a stiffer feel to it. So I want to go with something a little softer, right? So here before us, we have the District, very important tee from Samar. And then we have the Bella Canvas 3001, which is the #1 most popular shirt, right up there with the Gildan 5000 on the print-on-demand websites. So this is a heavily sought after type of shirt because of the high quality and the number of colors that it comes in. If you look here, these are only a fraction of the colors that particular shirt comes in, and we keep these in hand because we want to see what these colors look like in person versus a computer screen, right? So we're going to be choosing a few. Now those shirt colors are going to be a surprise, right? Okay, so we have for here just some generic black and a sand colored shirt here, just so we can show you for presentation today, but y'all will get the surprise of the colors on the website.
Right.
Okay. All right. So let's go ahead and dig into what do you feel about the quality of this shirt versus this one? So that's our canvas, and the black is our District very important tee.
What I first see like noticeably is the neck. This one seems a little bit more substantial.
Yep. This one's a little more narrow.
More narrow.
The neckline. Yep.
And then I'm feeling to see which one is softer, but they kind of feel very similar.
Yeah.
But for some reason, I'm leaning more to this one, to the Bella Canvas, than I am with the District. Not 100% sure why, but.
And we'll check out the prices that may make you feel a certain way too.
Okay.
So we'll check out the prices as well, but the Bella Canvas is consistently soft. It's consistently trendy with colors. Like they come out with seasonal colors that they keep in stock, so you don't have to worry about them running out of stock in the middle of a good season. And for the District, this is a good price comparison to have a higher quality shirt. At this price point, it's only a little bit more than your Gildan shirts, but it offers you to have that higher end feel without having the Gildan feel, but around about the same price tag. But the Bella Canvas, I'm gonna say, as far as the cut too, we'll start looking at the lengths and the cut, and it has a nice kind of trendy cut. It's not too baggy. It has, and it's also not very fitted either. So then this one is going to give you less returns because people are going to feel like the fit is right, the colors are right because the colors are on trend, so you don't have to worry about returns when it comes to a high quality brand.
That makes sense too, since this is one of, you said this one was like very popular?
Absolutely. If you go to Printify right now and look at the top 2 shirts that are selling as far as blanks for print-on-demand products, 3001, which is this Bella Canvas, is the #1 seller for people who are either selling their own brands, print-on-demand, or people who are buying personalized shirts. They're choosing this as the #1 pick. So if you go with what the population is already telling you, you don't even have a hard decision to make.
Okay.
We are hot at the press, and it's time to see this blank shirt turn into something that is going to be phenomenal. 40 Days and 40 Nights is just here. This is a print that we use for prototyping. It's called DTF. It means direct to film. And what we did here was we do this for short runs and prints because we can just print a single page instead of having to do a real big screen print run. However, your larger order shirts are going to be done with screen print, and we'll talk about that process a little bit later. However, let's go ahead and get this image on a shirt, and I'm going to ask you to help me out. You ready?
Yeah.
All right, let's go. Let's go ahead. I'm going to set up this shirt here. We'll do the black one first, and it has tearaway labels for the tags. We'll do that later. I want to position this on the press where the collar is hanging off because you don't want it to leave any type of uneven pressure. And then we're also going to make sure that we're even here on the sides, that we have an even hang. And then we're going to pre-press the shirt. That means we're going to give it a little bit of heat and pressure first. That's going to allow the steam to get the wrinkles out and also the moisture out of the shirt. And we did that for about 10 seconds. This is a very inexpensive press. The reason why I have this press is because I have several different presses in here. This is a very good starter press. It's about $250. So when I have people that are looking to get into t-shirt making, especially if you were looking to do this yourself, then this is a very good starter press. All right, so I'm coming all over here. I got assistance. I'm used to doing this by myself. Let's go ahead and grab the first DTF label. Now you'll notice that it prints in reverse or mirror image, and that's because we can see it the right way when it's underneath the press. What we're going to do is we're going to not fold it in half, but we're going to kind of pinch it in half. And what that tells us is where the center mark is. And then that way we can make a better decision on the spacing and whether it's lined up here. What we do is we typically give it about 3 finger widths of space between the collar and the print. And I'm good there. All right, we're gonna press this right now for 10 seconds. This is direct to film. It's a cold peel, so what we have to do is let it completely cool off. Then we can peel it, and then we press it one more time just to set that print into the shirt. So that's it. We'll pull it up. And then we're going to just let it cool off over here on the side. And while this cools off, we can be pressing the other shirts.
Cool.
Okay, so let's go ahead and let's do the sand color. And as a matter of fact, I think I'm gonna let you do this one. You ready?
Okay.
Let's go. All right, so I'll be the assistant. Here you are. And I know it's a little low for you. It's a little to my level. But yep, you're gonna lift the shirt up, hang the collar off to the back, and then no worries, I will check it for you to make sure it's good and even.
Okay.
Very perfect. So we're pulling on it, just making sure that the same amount of space on the left is on the right. And then also you have the same amount of hang down at the bottom. Very good. Looks good, looks good. All right, let's go ahead and do our pre-press. You remember, look. And don't be afraid to tear it up. That thing is a tough one.
Okay.
All right, and this one is still cooling down for us, so we'll go ahead and do our sweatshirts next. All right, so the print, you're gonna fold it in half and pinch it so you get your center mark. It doesn't have to be perfect. The idea is that if you pinch it at the top and bottom in the center, then you'll have an idea whether it's skewed or not. And you want to pinch it just at the top and bottom. So down here, we'll pinch, and up here, we'll pinch, so it doesn't affect the print, but it gives you a good indicator. There you go. Perfect.
And then
you do 3 finger widths down from the collar. Be careful. We want to keep those finger widths burn free.
Okay.
All right, looks good. And then also you'll look kind of at the sides of the image, make sure it's about the same amount of free space to the side. You can even step back a little bit and see if it looks straight to you. There are tools to do this, but usually most shirt makers, after about 3 months of making shirts, those tools are kind of irrelevant.
Okay.
All right, looks good, let's go.
Cool.
Trust yourself. Go ahead. All the way down. We'll let that go for the full 10 seconds, and then we will remember to take it off, pull it over here. Now, I'll go ahead and make some space for it so we can put it right here. As soon as that comes off the press, we're gonna let it cool. Okay, just pop it straight off.
And you can go from here, or
you can pull it from the bottom and just lift it up, perfect. Right, and then you can drop it right here like it's hot. All right, perfect. And we'll let that cool. And then what I like to do is go ahead and just let all of them cool. So we'll go press all of these, and then we'll go ahead and do our second press together too.
Okay, cool.
All right, so you seem like you're doing this pretty well. You ready?
Yeah.
Well, let me show you the hoodie first, because it's a
Right.
little bit different for the hoodie. The hoodie doesn't have a typical neckline like a shirt does where it drops. And then it's got this hood component that you want to make sure is completely hung off, including the drawstrings here. Yep. So let's go ahead and do that. Same idea though. Okay. Same exact idea. And some people for hoodies, depending on what type of press you do, like to press the hoodies upside down.
Okay.
But we have, and it's because number one, visually is sometimes a little bit easier. But also because some people's presses don't have enough space back there to kind of tuck the hood in. So they end up messing their shirts up because they don't have enough hang time back there. Okay, so everything looks good here. I'm gonna go ahead and do a pre-press. get rid of the wrinkles and moisture, and you'll realize it's tighter here because this is a sweatshirt. So the material is about 4 times thicker than the t-shirt. Gotcha. So what we're gonna be doing is just making sure that it's not too much pressure, and I think it's good to go. All right, so that prints. Thank you again. We take it, just pinch it at the top and bottom for the halfway mark. And then this one, usually with the sweatshirts, you can go a little bit lower because it doesn't have the dip down of the collar. So for this one, I'm gonna choose to go down 4 finger widths, just a little bit lower than, just a little tiny, just 1 finger width lower than the shirt because I don't have that drop collar. All right, I'm checking here, making sure I have the same space, and I think I need a little bit more here. Checking my sides here. Here we are. Let's go. Let that go for the full 10 seconds, and then you get to do your favorite color.
Okay,
I didn't even know how that worked out. It must have, you know, something to do with being obedient. That's why you got your color. All right, so let's go ahead and let this one cool off to the side, and then I'll hand you this one so you can get that one set up. I'm gonna let this one cool on the white table. So anytime you want to press shirts, you just come on up here to the lab, okay? Okay. I'm sure I can put you to work. I promise I'll have the press at a height that's suitable for your back. And actually, this is like I said, our basic setup. We also have our heat presses on different hydraulic tables and lifts so that they can go any height. And that's what I recommend. Ergonomically, it's going to save your back. Even these tables raise up to different heights and you can put your presses on them. All right. Mm-hmm. And with this one, I will say here, the pocket was in there a little bit. Okay, I see that. Make sure that's if we pull it out, it just ensures that you have good even pressure. Now, sometimes you won't be able to avoid it. Okay. So if you were doing a small shirt, and I see we just kind of crease that just a little bit, it's not going to be a permanent crease. But just pull it down just a little bit. Mm-hmm. And here, I'll help you at the top here. It seems like it's sticking a little bit. Got it? Mm-hmm. And then you should still be able to have that whole hood hang off the back there. That good? Mm-hmm, that's good. Oh wait, this is a little uneven. Mm-hmm. And check your sides there. Yep. That looks really good. All right. Okay, I've already creased it for you, so it's ready to go. There you are. So we're ready for the reveal. We're going to go ahead and peel this transfer. It's completely cooled. So again, this is direct to film and it requires a cold peel. I'm going to peel close down. And what we're going to do is press it a second time because although it is beautiful and it peeled nicely, we want to get a second press so that we can see the fibers of the shirt, kind of see the texture through the print itself, and it looks more like it's embedded into the fabric. So we'll go ahead and peel all of the hoodies, and then we'll do a second press for about 7 to 10 seconds. Beautiful, you did it.
Yes.
How does it feel to see your brand in your hand?
It's amazing because we literally took it from off the screen and now we brought it to reality, and just to see, I can't wait to put it on.
I know, right? Well, we're gonna press it one more time before you get a chance to put it on, and we're gonna put some tags on it, some custom tags, so no longer will it say jerseys, it will say 40 days and 40 nights. Your brand coming to life today. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and do our second presses on all of the shirts. And for this, we're going to use some cover paper over the top of the image. So here it's not so important that the shirt is placed in the middle, but you should just always practice doing that anyhow. I'm gonna go grab some cover paper and I will be right back. Now with our cover paper in hand, and all you have to do is use regular craft paper. I just happen to have some parchment paper here. We're gonna go ahead and give it another press. And this is gonna make sure that it's set in the fibers of the shirt, and you will kind of see the texture start coming through, and it doesn't look so much like it's on top of the shirt. Although it looks beautiful on top of the shirt too, this is gonna also give it longevity. All right. Now we don't have to wait any longer. This is ready to go. Maybe a little bit hot. What you think?
That's nice. I like it.
Oh man. Okay, I'm gonna set it right up here, and then I'm gonna let you do some of the other ones. Put your hands on your brand. Or we change it to the hands on your brand. No, I think I like making the brand better. All right, so go ahead and put the shirt down first. Go ahead and do what, the t-shirt I think is next. Oh, yep, you can do that one. That's where you were over here. I was like, what you touching on? That's it. So you can do that one, and then you can just grab that cover paper.
Okay. And
just set it in. And then I do want you to feel the difference. After you set that one in, feel the difference in the print. This feels much more matte, and this one feels a little glossier, a little slicker. So I think you're gonna like that matte feel.
And I do it like.
And you can turn that paper to the side.
Okay.
Yep. Perfect.
You know what's crazy? I always wanted to like do it.
Really?
I've seen you done it so many times.
And it's like I was like, well, I don't know if Anna will ever press a shirt.
Never done it.
Usually being around it, it does give you ideas. Like, hey, you know, I've always had this thing to start a brand. So I'm glad to see you like take it into your own hands. This is amazing.
I don't know if you remember, but that was like, I don't know if you remember, but that was like our first conversation.
Yeah, I do remember. Trust me.
In Vegas.
I remember because I was even looking at you. And
you want me to put that on top? Is that
yeah, you can put it on top. It's okay. I was like, where's your brand?
Right.
Yep.
I was like, trying to get something going.
And now we're not trying anymore. We're doing it.
Right.
And you're being obedient, and it's coming to fruition. I'm telling you. All right. So now you're gonna do your hoodie here, and you can try this one upside down and see if it makes a difference with the hood hanging down low. That way you can see if you like that better, because you're not gonna mistakenly put it upside down. It's already on where it needs to be. Just see if that makes it a little easier for you. And just, if you can get that, get that pocket to hang off. Perfect.
Gosh.
And I'll be your assistant.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. You're being so careful. I love it. All right, we're gonna give that a good press.
Oh.
All the way down. Yeah, that is gonna be a little bit thicker, and now this hem of the hood is at the top of the press. So if you look at the leverage, you had to use a little more leverage to get it down. You got it. You just remove that cover paper, and beautiful. And then while you're at it, I want you to touch this one that hasn't been pressed yet, and touch one of these ones that aren't hot. Right. Then that way you can kind of see the difference in the texture. What do you tell the difference?
Okay, yeah. So this one like feels like it's like with the shirt, kind of, and then this one definitely feels like it's like on top.
Right.
It's like a glossy. Yeah. Where this one, like you really can't even tell the difference between the shirt and the actual design versus this one. You can tell, which is like
this has, like, it has its own effect to it. This will make it more durable too, because now that's in the fibers of the shirts, it'll be easier to wash and withstand, and it has a little stretch to it. So DTF has a stretch more than screen print does. So this will work well over time, and this would still do great, but it's going to do better if you set it a second time.
I've seen other shirts and stuff that kind of felt like this before, but like
They have like a raised appearance to it.
Yeah, and sometimes like after a couple of washes, like either it will crack or it will like start even
Peeling off. Right.
Yeah.
Those are typically almost like a silicone thickness to it, and it's meant to have like a 3D brick layer feel to it, but oftentimes the adhesive on it is not very strong. Now DTF has some of the strongest adhesive that you're going to imagine with the print process, and then also some of those materials might even be vinyl, and vinyl is a film material, like it comes out as on a sheet and then you cut it out. That's what those cutters over there are for, and I have to be honest with you, I haven't touched vinyl in years. With DTF and sublimation, I have really no use for vinyl unless I'm doing maybe some glitter accents or something to that effect. But for this, it is a print and go technique, just like sublimation, and that's why I love these print processes. All right, so we're gonna press that one up, and we'll be done with the front print and move on to the tags.
Cool.
And it would have been easier to use a press that has the Teflon on the bottom, but of course I wouldn't make it easy. And we may have to like zoom out because like you with your back hunched over look like I'm putting you in horrible conditions. Oh wait.
Oh, you're right.
Get your cover
I was
paper.
trying to just see if it was.
Okay. If it was on the press.
Yeah, like.
Yeah, if it's on there a little bit, this is the second press, so it's not as crucial.
Okay.
But definitely for your first press, you want to make the most contact as even as possible.
Oh, it goes way further than I thought. Yeah.
That blue looks really good.
Yeah.
That's it. Uh-oh. About to knock something over and all. Looks good, looks good.
Cool.
All right. So now we put tags on and we're good to go. All right, this is a finishing step that's not required. You could sell this shirt just like it is right now, and although it would have the brand names inside, it won't be consistent with your brand. So we might have District in one shirt, and Jerseys in another, and Bella Canvas in another. But you can really make your brand look substantial just by adding a tag. Now, your typical companies that do print on demand like Printify may offer this kind of service. It's probably gonna cost you about $3 per shirt to add your tag, but it's gonna have a premium feel to it, and it's going to allow your customers to follow the brand. Now, there are some important factors to think about when it comes to re-tagging. It is federal law, and most people may not know this starting a brand out, but it's federal law to make sure that you follow the requirements. You have to say what percentage of fibers are in the garment. So this one is 100% cotton. And you also have to say where the garment was made. So if it was made in Honduras or China, wherever it was originated, where the fabric was made, not where you made the t-shirt, but where the t-shirt itself was made, you have to put that onto the label. The other thing you have to add is the laundering requirement. So how do you wash this? How do you care for it? You have to put the care instructions, and then outside of that, you can put anything you want. You can put a heart, you can tell your customers how much you love them. You could even put a website or any other details that you want. For this one, we're gonna go ahead and re-tag these with the information that's necessary from the tag, but we also put it's made with love in the USA. So we put, this is what we did. We put it's made in whatever country it's made, and then I put that it's printed in the USA with love. So then that way people understand that there is a finishing part to the process that's done right here in the US, and that it is actually made with love for you. Okay, let's go ahead and press this one. We're going to lay it out. This is a press that's pretty much made for doing just tagging and very small items. This thing comes in handy. We used to use a hat press for this part, and the hat press used to stretch out some of our sublimation shirts, so this is so much better because it's nice and flat instead of curved like a hat press. Now we're going to grab our print, the same DTF prints that we did for the front of the shirt, and this one has the 100% cotton, and then we also have a different one that says 50-50 for the hoodies. So keep in mind we have to have two different, totally different labels for the different style shirts. And I keep the existing label on there just to make sure that I'm putting the right label on. It looks good to go. I do use this little Teflon sheet here to protect. Give it a good press. And again, this is cold peel, so we're gonna let it cool completely. Peel off the label once it cools, and then we're gonna give it a second press. That's it. We'll pull this one to the side and let it cool off. We'll keep that tag on there, and then we'll be able to rip those tags out. Those are tearaway tags. Tearaway tags are excellent. Back in the day, you used to have to go into the garment and get a little fiber picker and actually pick, or seam picker, and pick out the seam of every single tag. So now they understand what's going on. They understand you're building a brand. They make it super easy for you to just rip these out and put your own tag in. This one's a little trickier because we have this hood here. We're just going to open it on up, clear some space for our tag here, and I'm going to grab the tag here. Make sure that it's firm on the pressing pad. Make sure that it's centered by the print, not by the cut, because you can obviously see there's a little extra space on the side here. I'm centering it here by the print. And then I will grab my protective sheet. It's also going to keep that tag flipped back while I'm pressing it. Make sure nothing is going to create additional bulk underneath the press, so I'm moving my cord. Give it a good press. And this one is an automatic press, so like I said, we have different types of price points for presses. This one's going to automatically pop up. And we're going to let that completely cool before we peel that off. So now for the fun part, we're going to remove the film and tear away those labels. Just pull them right on out. 1, 2, 3. Now your brand is the only brand they'll see. Well, unfortunately, it's come to an end, but we hope that you have enjoyed this episode of Making the Brand. And how do you feel with your brand on your body right now?
This is amazing. It's felt like it's long overdue at this point. But it's a blessing to just be able to wear something that means so much to you. And
I love it. I love it.
And hopefully, this means a lot to other people too. And so I just thank you so much for.
You're welcome. It is my pleasure to see this come to life. Now I want to ask you, where are we going to be able to find you on Instagram, YouTube, and where can we shop your brand?
Yes, so on all platforms, it is Ant Harge. All platforms, it is Ant Harge.
H-A-R-D-G-E.
Yes, H-A-R-D-G-E. And then for the website, it's going to be 40 Days and Night.
40daysand40nights.co.
Yeah, I forgot because we just got that.
Yes, and that's a part 2. I'm going to rerun some of this stuff as an educational part, and that piece is going to tell you about looking up to make sure you can trademark something, securing your domain name, and then setting up a whole Shopify store. So I guess it's just goodbye for now because we have to bring them the whole process of the Shopify store, right?
For sure.
We're going to take you along with that. If you want to see that part, make sure that you like and subscribe and share this with someone who could really benefit and wants to build their brand. If this video was helpful to you, make sure that you share this with a fellow creative, and both of y'all like and subscribe.